Right, did you see this one?
No, I haven't seen that one. No.
Yeah, this is a news article from Collider. Doctor Who season two's Rotten Tomato audience score suggests review bombing has returned. By Jake Hodges. Now, what do you know of review bombing?
That it uh, not a lot to be fair.
Yeah, it's usually when the people say that there's a lot of sort of people just going on and just review bombing and hating it just for the sake of it to bring it down, you know. But anyway, let's see what this guy's got to say. Anyway, much like a trip in the TARDIS to a dangerous planet in the distant future, it can be difficult to remember quite how we got to this place, but the reality remains nevertheless concerning. Review bombing has been a topic of much discussion over recent months, especially when it comes to those projects that have found themselves a target of the anti woke brigade. Next in the firing line is the return of Doctor Who, which recently premiered its season 2 opening episode, The Robot Revolution. Written by Russell T Davies and directed by Peter Hoare. First trip of season 2, blah, 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 whatever. Has seemingly been well received by casual viewers, with many others from within the Whoniverse declaring it much better opener than last year's Space Babies, which is high praise. Alas, despite the positive reception and an early perfect 100% on Rotten Tomatoes, which was probably there by the critics, who are the paid people that go in and review it. Um, I don't know who the casual viewers are because I think most of them have left. But there you go. Season two has awoken the ire of a mob of gang-handed internet dwellers who simply cannot handle the idea that a progressive show about a gender-fluid alien flying around in time and space while saving people has conclusivity on its mind. This has left the audience rating on the aforementioned Rotten Tomatoes as a shockingly low 46%, although this is at least a 16% improvement on last year's comparative figure. Calling Doctor Who Doctor Woke shows a lack of understanding about the series. There is a strange opinion held by the bigoted view that Doctor Who has evolved in recent years into a series that stands for the rights of minorities in contrast to its 2005 revival status, as seemingly a testosterone-fueled anti-woke campaign to keep our mainstream shows traditional. This seems this simply shows a lack of understanding for a show that championed LGBTQ plus characters in its 2005 debut season, has explored gender roles since its 1963 inception, and has perpetuated opened forward thinking discussions about race and attitudes via the mask of alien species. The latest addition to the TARDIS team, Sefu, is already and waiting for the backlash to season two, with a painfully inevitable that some will take umbrage with both the title of Time Lord and their companion being non-white for the first time in the show's history. Speaking earlier in the month, Sefu said, "There's been a couple of Doctor Woke references or whatever, but I just think that we're doing the right thing if we're getting the comments like that." She continued, "Woke just means inclusive, progressive, and that you care about people. And as far as I know, the core of Doctor Who is kindness, love, and doing the right thing." So that was that. There was a few comments. Some people have posted. One's called Michael, which is quite funny. Um,
Yeah.
the
Wasn't
review.
me.
What?
It wasn't me. Just putting that out there, just in
Yeah,
case it's.
it wasn't you. It wasn't me. Uh-huh.
But she cut me on the counter.
It
Wasn't me.
wasn't
Got me kicking on the sofa. Wasn't me. I had to
me.
scream a little louder. Dude, you got me started, mate. I had to keep going.
Right.
She caught me red-handed, sleeping with the girl next door. Doodaloo, don't know the fucking words. Anyway,
Anyway, So this Michael dude is saying the review bombing started when the paid shill critics gave that trash a perfect 100 score. The audience score represents how real people feel about this train wreck. And Dwayne commented, Clive, real people, as in those giving honest reviews and not being paid to lie and give positive reviews.
Mm.
Someone else commented, unfortunately, viewership numbers do not lie. Uh, you know, uh, So, what do you think of that one?
The thing is, like, with that last comment, the viewing figures don't lie. They don't. Like, at the end of the day, they have to look at the viewing figures and go, right, well, it's all time lowest. Even more so when the show ended in 1989. You know what I mean? It's never been this low in the entire history of the show. You know what I mean? So, like, unless the, I don't know. I don't know where the head's at, and I don't know why they're thinking it's a success when it's clearly not. Um, Maybe it's just one of those things where they like to lie to each other or whatever. I don't know. Plausible. I don't know. It's just at the end of the day, they're being like the showrunner, writers, and all the rest. They're just being absolute idiots with it, and just like the BBC is just practically in denial as well. They don't want to admit that it's going south. And Russell T Davis, like I can guarantee you right now, he is not wanting to admit that to himself because he knows how badly he's fucked up, but he's in too deep and he doesn't want to admit it. So, or either that, he actually genuinely believes it's a success and we're all wrong, which is plausible.
Yeah, we'll see.
Mm.
I don't know if there's a lot of review bombing. I think there's quite a lot of people out there that are sharing their review on stuff. Could there be some people in there that are just doing it for the sake of it? Maybe,
Mm.
but I think most people usually just go on there to just put their view across. Because not everyone has a platform where they can do it. Some people do it on X, the social medias and stuff, and some people do it on websites like that. So, yeah.
I
Anyway,
don't know.
on Doctor Who TV, there was another article about RTD responds to Gatwa crybaby complaints in Doctor Who. You don't tell an actor not to cry. Did you see that one?
Well, you can tell an actor not to cry if it's not a crying scene. It's
just,
it's
just
not a scene
crying
of
during a
attack.
love making scene, Yeah.
I'm not being funny if I call, but if I'm a director and my actor's crying, I'm like, why are you crying in this scene? It's not for crying. This is a funny scene. You laugh. And then I'll be thinking, right, what's wrong with this person? Is there something happened? You know. But hell.
Anyway, let's see. Oh, there's the man himself. Oh, good grief.
Not very flattering, but okay.
Yeah. Since Shooty Gatwa's debut in Doctor Who, some fans have raised eyebrows at just how much and how often the 15th Doctor ends up crying in the Church on Ruby Road through to the current run of episodes. The emotional outbursts have become a regular occurrence, a stark departure from how previous incarnations tended to handle their feelings. Historically, the Doctor has been more restrained, often expressing grief or sorrow through a quiet moment or a haunted look. Rarely did he break down in tears, and when it did happen, it usually marked a moment of exceptional weight. Now, some fans feel that the 15th Doctor's emotions are being replaced front and centre a little too often. Because obviously, when you had all the other doctors, they would cry occasionally. Like I think the Ninth Doctor only cried maybe once. Um,
Yeah, I think that's in the second episode,
yeah,
Jabe.
yeah,
Um, yeah, because he had like a tear rolling down his eye. Um, but mostly with Christopher Eccleston's Doctor, it was mostly like if he was upset, it was mostly like a haunted look. Like, we've covered this when we did his episodes, but like when he's walking away, I think it's in the first episode when he's walking away, he has that sort of strut, and he also has that haunted look on his face where he's been through some serious shit. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Or there's like a bit of anger outburst or whatever, you know. But with David Tennant, there was a level of emotion sort of thing as well. But then, because he didn't always show it, it always hit harder.
Mm.
Well, it was the same with all three, like with Christopher Eccleston, David Tennant, and Matt Smith. You knew serious shit if they were upset or like angry or crying. You knew fucking serious shit just happened. You know what I mean? It's affected them deep. But I think at this point, I think people's issues is the fact that at this point it's like pretty much every single episode you'll cry, and I get the message that they're trying to send, that because there's still that stigma attached to men, that men shouldn't cry and all the rest, or show emotions or whatever. There's still that stigma to this day, and I get what the message that they're trying to put across with this, but I think they're just doing it too often where we're kind of desensitized by it, where you want to connect with the doctor, and that's where some of the issues are coming from, where the audience isn't connecting with the doctor on a deeper level as well. I think that's where some of the issues are coming from as well.
Yeah. Yeah, and if he keeps crying every episode, it kind of devalues it, and it's just like, well, here we go again, he's doing it again.
Yeah.
When you're thinking like in like TV shows and stuff like that and films, like you don't want them crying every 2 seconds, otherwise, you're just like, oh, right, okay. It's got to be like an impact, and it's done it way too often.
Yeah, it's like on the I don't know if you watched The Walking Dead, but like with The Walking Dead, Daryl, when he's crying, that shit's hit him like, because he's always like the tough guy sort of thing. He's always, you know what I mean. So like, and I think there's only maybe a handful of maybe episodes where he actually has that sort of emotional breakdown. When Beth dies, like that affected him really deeply. You know what I mean? When Rick, spoiler alert, by the way, guys, sorry, but like when Rick blows up the bridge and everything else, like that shit hurt him, and you can see that in his face, sort of thing. And then through that, all the audience go, oh my god, and they'll get upset with them, and they'll probably have a good cry with them, sort of thing. Like I did the same whenever Daryl's crying. I was like, oh shit, I'm going to start now, because you don't expect that from Daryl. You know what I mean? And again, it's about connecting with that character, and that shit's like, and your heart kind of goes out to that character. Whereas right now, again, people are having the issue of having that moment with the doctor, because it's happened so many times.
Yeah. Russell T Davis, however, is standing firmly behind the performance. Speaking to TV Line, he recalled the first instance of Gatwa's tears on set. I mean, I remember the first time he did it, which was in the church on Ruby Road. He thought Ruby had vanished, been erased from time and space, which was astonishing. And he turned around in the studio and gave us that performance, which was absolutely spellbinding. David best thoughts that the crying is written in the script.
Great RTD impression, man.
He says he's not written it in the script. You don't tell an actor whether to cry, not an actor of that stature. Absolutely not. It's like you wouldn't tell anyone to laugh or not to laugh. It's a beautiful thing he does, and it's a completely new thing for the Doctor that opens up doorways to whole new experiences. While some long-term viewers are unconvinced, Davis sees it's part of the show's evolution. Diversity is many things, and sometimes I put emotions on screen you haven't seen before, or that the Doctor has withheld himself from. But it does make me laugh. I know sometimes fans get up in arms and they complain about it. They're the same fans who say, why don't you do something new with the program? And I'm like, hello. Yeah, Davis remains unapologetic and in his praise. Now, Russell, if we're gonna do something new with the program, we want you to do something new with the program. We don't think the Doctor crying in every episode is the best way to go. We think maybe, do something new, like maybe bring Gallifrey back and actually do something with Gallifrey rather than keep destroying it all the time. Maybe not have Doctor being the last of the Time Lords all the time. That's a bit stupid and a bit boring now.
The thing is, when the show came back in 2005, it's like revolutionary for the show, wasn't it? Like, there's the whole mystery of what happened to Gallifrey. Why is Gallifrey gone? Why is he the last Time Lord? But obviously, over time, we've like discovered bits and bobs of what's happened, and obviously, in the 50th anniversary, that's when we found out what's happened with Gallifrey, and then obviously, it's got put in a pocket of time or whatever to save it. But then, was it Chris Chibnall? Yeah, he fucked that whole thing up completely as well. And it's just, like there's so many things. Like I've said this time and time again. There's so many things that fans like. I've spoken to a few fans. They've got ideas. We've got ideas. You know what I mean? Like if they're really that desperate and for ideas or whatever, or like I don't know. It's just at the end of the day, it's you've alienated the majority now of the older fans, the fans that have got a long history with the show, and that's the fans that you need the most, But at the end of the day, fans like us, we have the memories of what the storylines used to be, how it used to make us feel. I don't like standing in front of this camera and like talking shitty about RTD. You know what I mean? The direction he's chosen to go with the show. I don't enjoy it at all because we've said this time and time again. We used to love RTD with the stuff that he's done, like with Christopher Eccleston, David Tennant, and everything else. We've said time and time again that we've loved that stuff and everything else. His stories and that were absolutely brilliant. I think it was the best that the show had got. It was when it first came back, but somewhere along the line, it's kind of lost track and it's too political. I mean, like I get trying to bring in ideas such as not ideas, but like that's poor choice of words, but like trying to bring in things to open people's eyes up about trans people's rights and all that other stuff. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. But do it in a way that's not right in your face and you're not pissing off everyone. If you do it in a way that it's beneficial for everyone. Right now, like in season 2, if you did it the right way, or like I don't know, if you did it in a different way, like the older fans like us would be enjoying the show and going, actually, I've learned something now. That'd be great. You know what I mean? It gets people chatting. I think I've said this in the last one as well, actually, where it's like, great storylines, like, and even if you input some of the stuff into the storylines and things like that, if you have a good plot to an episode and have some of the things that you want to highlight in them, people will talk about them. Right now, people don't want to be talking about it because maybe people are feeling that it's too much in their face now, or the material that's coming out at the minute is not like what they're what they're liking or whatever. You know what I mean? This show wouldn't exist without the fans. So,
Yeah.
But by pissing off the majority, you're fucking up a 61-year-old show. So
yeah, nearly 62.
Yeah.
Right. Doctor Who ratings. So last time, we predicted what were the overnights going to be for episode 2 Lux. Do you remember what you predicted?
Oh Christ, no! You've written it down, haven't you? Though.
Yeah.
I think it was was it not 2 million?
Yeah, you predicted 2 million.
Yeah.
And I predicted 1.8. So obviously, I'll say it again, obviously, for the overnights, that's just the people who watched it live and those who recorded it and watched it later that night.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then obviously +7 consolidated ratings are those who recorded it and watched within a week. +4 screens since 2018. The final consolidated figure also takes into account viewers on tablets, PCs, and smartphones. Righty. So episode 2 got a 1.58 million overnights.
Yeah.
Which means we lost 420,000.
Okay, now.
Which was a lot lower than our predictions.
I think we've both been overly optimistic there.
Yeah, I didn't think it was going to go that fast.
Jesus. Thing is that season 15's first episode wasn't okay. It wasn't great, but it wasn't bad. You know what I mean? So, like my logic was that it wouldn't dip anymore. That it might just stay the same to see what happens in the next episode. But obviously that's completely wrong. But you know,
Yeah, I thought it might level out at some point, but I don't know. I'm waiting until we get to the bottom of the barrel of viewers. Anywho, right. So I looked on Samba TV for the streaming between the 7th and the 13th of April 2025. And in the top 10, we've got at number 1, we've got White Lotus season 3 on Max. 1923 season 2 on Paramount Plus, number 2. Number 3, we've got The Pit season 1 on Max, which I don't know what that's about. We've got at number 4 and number 5, we've got The Last of Us season 1 and season 2, which I've never watched, but I played the game.
No, I've never watched it either, but apparently it's really good. Like, but yeah.
Yeah. Number 6, we've got Pulse season 1 on Netflix. Don't know.
Don't know.
See, number 7, we've got G20 on Prime Video. Don't know. 8, we've got Bad Influence, The Dark Side of Kid Fluencing, season 1 on Netflix.
We've started watching that. Watched the first episode. It's quite messed up. About this mother and daughter. This mother's put her daughter into like these pageants and stuff like that, and exposing her on social media sort of thing, and they end up getting rich through it, and then end up forming this kind of group, and they're just chatting about stuff that's like some really messed up stuff that's happened along the way. I would recommend watching it, like, cause,
all right, I'll add it to my list.
put it this way, like I know, like, I've put pictures and stuff like that of my son on social media, but I've stopped doing that now. I don't, like, with the way things are going with technology. I know it sounds a bit, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. Like, I just don't want to be like exposing my son on social media. Like, I don't know. It's just like what. Like I'm. Oh, that was it. That was it. So like, I watched this trailer, and on it was that these people were sitting in a cinema. I don't know if you've seen this one. And this little girl comes up on the screen, and she goes like, "Hi, mom, hi, dad," and stuff like that. And like, it pans into the parents and stuff like that. So it's like, it's not really me. I'm just an image. And then it basically talks about the getting images and creating like an AI sort of figure as well. And that kind of spooked me a little bit as well. It was like, obviously, like it's amazing what people can do with AI and special effects and whatever else. You know what I mean? So yeah, kind of just
yeah, freaky.
Yeah.
Number 9, we've got Black Mirror season 7, which I can't believe we're on season 7 of Black Mirror, but there you
I
go.
don't know. Well, to be fair, I think ultimately they weren't going to bring out another season, were they? I
Hmm.
think like season 6 was supposed to be it, but I was glad when I heard that we're doing a season 7. I was like, get in. That's actually really good.
I've not watched Black Mirror since season 4 or 5. I think I've lost
Oh,
track.
really?
Yeah, but
Oh, get watched, mate. It's like there's one because they did like a interactive game thing on Netflix as well. Because they did an episode and it was like interactive and things like that. You choose like you get choices and you select and see what happens, sort of thing. Pretty cool.
oh yeah, I did that. Did that ages ago. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think that was the last thing I did with it, though. To be honest.
I'd
Um.
I'd recommend watching like 5, 6, and 7 if you haven't already.
All right. And at number 10, we've got The Handmaid's Tale season 6, which I do believe is the final season. Thank God. I think they've dragged it out long enough. Um,
Mm.
I think me and Mel were watching it, and I think we gave up the early season 5. So, don't know.
Yeah,
Might go around back at some point and watch the rest of it. I don't know.
yeah, because they're based off of books, aren't they? And that came out what 10 years ago, longer. Came
Hmm.
out a fair few years ago. I thought that would have ended by now, like, but they're kicking arse out of it.
Yeah, it was getting kind of boring during season 5. And I was hoping that they would just finish it pretty soon, so they don't keep dragging it out forever and ever, because they do that with some shows. So I'm quite glad to know this is the final season, and hopefully it kind of ends half decent, I suppose. I think the first 2 or 3 seasons are probably the best, and then it's kind of dragged on since then.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's no Disney Plus. There's no Doctor Who on Zamba on the top 10 streaming programs. Let's have a look. What else we got? Oh yeah. Oh, so on Saturday, 19th of April, top TV shows on Disney Plus worldwide. Just had Good American Family, Daredevil, Born Again, Grey's Anatomy, The Stolen Girl, Bluey, number 5, 6, The Simpsons, Modern Family, number 7, Malcolm in the Middle, number 8, High Potential, number 9, and Desperate Housewives, number 10. And that was worldwide. So the second episode, no Doctor Who. Um, top 10 in the United States on the 19th of April. There's no Doctor Who.
Mm.
Mufasa the Lion King, Daredevil Born Again, Titanic the Digital Resurrection, Pets, Rio 2, Avengers Endgame, and Infinity War. They're both up there. Um, an extremely goofy movie, The Avengers, and Ice Age, The Great Escapade, whatever that was. Um, Still no Doctor Who. I checked on the 20th as well. Top 10 in the United States, still no Doctor Who. Um, but worldwide, still no Doctor Who for Disney Plus. I just heard that someone was saying it was on top 10 on Australia the other day, I think, but I don't know. I've not seen anything, so I'll need to check that and get back to that one. Anywho, same for the 21st. Uh, Still no Doctor Who on Flix Patrol. I'm looking at all the sort of top 10s for Disney Plus. Nothing. But Star Wars Andor, which is back in the top 10 again, preparing for the season 2 of Andor, which is going to start this week, I think.
Yeah.
So,
Hmm.
yeah. So we've got the consolidated in for episode 1, The Robot Revolution,
Mm.
in the top weekly top 50 shows from the 7th of April to the 13th of April. Now, where do you think it? What number do you think it's going to be between 1 and 50?
50.
Oh, that's very pessimistic. Fuck me. Thought I was
No,
bad.
I'll go 36.
All right, 36. Right, that's all. So the first 10, we've got The Apprentice, which got 5.39. Britain's Got Talent. Number 2, Grace. Number 3, Beyond Paradise. Number 4, The 1% Club. Coronation Street Monday. Coronation Street Wednesday. Coronation Street Friday. At number 9, Have I Got News for You? And number 10, Gladiators.
Mm.
Number 11, we've got Emmerdale Friday, 12, Emmerdale Thursday, and 13, Emmerdale Tuesday. 14, we've got Antiques Roadshow, 15, Emmerdale Monday, and then 16, Emmerdale Wednesday, and then 17, EastEnders, Wednesday, Monday, Thursday, and Tuesday. And that takes us up to number 20. All EastEnders. Right.
It's a painful pill to swallow when you're getting beat by Antiques Roadshow. uh, uh,
Yeah.
uh.
Oh, fuck me.
I
Right.
tell you what, if what's called, what is it? What's that
Country
program?
File.
Country File. If Country File comes up before fucking Doctor Who, I'm out. Like, fuck that shit. Just fuck it.
Oh, fuck me. Right. Let's go. Number 21, we've got Doctor Who.
Oh, that's all right then. There you go.
And you can
There
see
you
in the right hand corner, we've got a consolidated figure of 3,571,000. So that's a consolidated of 3.57 million, which is the
go.
lowest opening of a Doctor Who series since 2005 using the consolidated.
Not great.
No, not great at all. At least it beat Stacey and Joe. Fucking hell.
What the hell is that?
Oh, Mel's been watching it. It's Stacey Solomon
Yeah.
and her husband Joe. What's his
Uh,
face? Yeah,
yeah, the guy used to be on EastEnders.
yeah. It's their sort of reality TV show.
Wow.
It's a load of
Cool.
shite, but there you go.
Fucking hell.
Yeah. Anywho, yeah. So number 21. Right. So this is the Gatwick era so far. So all the overnights are in green, and the consolidated are in purple. So that's the added figure on top. So as you can see, uh the green's like the biggest number. So overnights are usually the biggest
Mm.
one that we have. It's the biggest audience. And then all the people catching up, on iPlayer and throughout the week is the purple figure. So you can see it's kind of going down. It kind of jumped slightly in the middle with 73 yards.
Well, I was going to say, like, between Church on Ruby Road and Space Babies, there's a hell of a friggin' drop.
Yeah.
Jeez, it's like a Grand Canyon drop, that. Fuck me. Jeez.
Yeah, we lost quite a lot then.
But by the looks of things, people are a bit more optimistic about the Christmas episode, and then kind of fucking checked out. For fuck's sake. And didn't even, like, by the looks of things, didn't even bother with it, like, fucking robot revolution, should I say.
No. So I'm checking my figures. And just looking at my figures, I think we lost nearly 3.5 million between Church and Ruby Road and Space Babies.
Wow.
And that's the consolidated figure. And then it kind of evens out slightly. We're going to get a bump with 73 yards. And then it kind of dips down slightly and kind of evens out. And then we get a bit of an uptick with Christmas, obviously, but it's not still as good as Church on the Bay Road. So it's still slightly down. And then we've lost pretty much all the audience you kind of gained at Christmas. It's kind of just fell flat again. And then we've got Lux here at the end for 1.58 overnight. So usually you can kind of see that the consolidated kind of goes around about 1.4 to 1.6 ish. Usually roughly it estimates it about 1.5 extra. So if you give it roughly about 1.6 extra to Lux over the week, you might end up with a consolidated of roughly between 310 and 318, 320,
Yeah.
which would mean that it would be probably the lowest consolidated we've ever had. Because at present, the lowest consolidated we've ever had so far was Dalton Bubble, which was what, 3.38.
Okay.
So if it dips below that, then you've got a new, and if it just keeps dipping down, we've got another 6 episodes to go. So
Well, thing is with Dot and Bubble, it was an interesting concept, but it was just a poor execution. You know what I mean? Could have done that a whole lot better, but yeah. But yeah, I'll be interested to see if it comes out of the millions bracket by the end of the season.
yeah,
But because by the looks of things, we're almost there by the looks of things, anyway, aren't we? We're at 1 point, what was it, 1.6 million, what was it?
we've got 1.58 overnights, so it's almost
Yeah.
1.6. So depending how much more if we gain or lose any of the next episodes, I don't know, but I don't know. It's usually a referendum on the last episode, and I think, well, you know, I don't know, because I think we kind of gained quite a lot. We gained some more from Boom because
Yeah.
everyone thought Boom was quite good, and then we came back with 73 yards, and then kind of got miffed and kind of stayed roughly, and then I think we kind of lost some people from last season because they seen the crap ending. And yeah, I don't know, but we'll have to wait and see. So, do you want to kind of predict where you think the next overnight is going to be for episode 3? Considering we just had the lowest ever from 1963 to present, 1.58. So, do you think it's going to be lower or higher than 1.58 for episode 3?
I'll be an optimist again and say 1.3 million. That's me being optimistic.
1.3.
Nah.
Fucking hell.
Okay, I'll go 1.41 million. There you go.
1.41.
Mm.
All right, Jesus. Right. Well, I'm sticking with my initial guess. What was my initial guess going to be? No, fuck it. Actually, what was my initial guess?
What was it? Not 1.8.
That was for the last episode, episode 2, which was annihilated. I thought it was going to be 1.8 because I didn't think it was going to drop that fast, but it did.
Yeah, well, I didn't think so either. That was a shock to both of us, wasn't it? So
Yeah, that was like, oh wow, okay. I put 1.44 when I was planning when I was trying to predict. I put 1.8 for the last episode and I put 1.44 for this one. But
right.
looking at it now, fuck it, I'll put 1.44 and leave it as that.
Ooh,
Because I don't know, how low can it go? Like,
low can you go? How low can you go? How low can you go? Anyway, I don't know. Well, I'm just interested to see if, because obviously we'll have to, like BBC right now have to stick it out until the end. So even if it gets below the millions bracket and you end up getting into the hundreds of thousands, then that's it. Like, bye bye to Doctor Who. You know, unless the BBC are that desperate that they're willing to actually find someone else that'll run the show better to get everybody back. But and I keep saying this, and I'm probably going to bore everybody to tears with saying this over and over again, but we need a break. Regroup, come back in a few years' time. Everybody, like in 5 to 10 years' time, everybody will be like, right, okay, let's have the show back. They'll be ready. But right now, everybody's just like, can't be asked for this anymore. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, it's just tired, and it. Oh, we'll have to see how it goes. Right. Anyhow, right, that was that.